Hey everybody, and welcome to this video for my custom paint and print project of Hawks from My Hero Academia. I was really excited for this one because it was my largest print yet, but also I'm a huge My Hero Academia fan. So before this video continues any further, if there's anything you want to see differently or any suggestions you have, please leave them in the comment sections below as I'm still learning to record and edit these videos. So the first step was to prime everything in pink with Mr. Surfacer 1500, and this was mixed with Mr. Color leveling thinner, and that was because everything was either going to be yellow or red. And this is the outcome of the final primed. Everything was ready to go, except the clouds. I primed those in white. After everything was primed, it was time to throw down some acrylic ink. This was my first time working with acrylic ink, but man, will I be coming back because everything was so smooth and easy to use. Didn't have to do anything else from a thinning perspective, and it just laid down so evenly. It was great. I wanted to try something a little different, and this time I decided to mix some red and brown to do some pre-shading inside the feathers and where I think some shadows might be. And that was to provide a little bit more depth. Now I think it's an okay job, but I definitely have room to grow, so I figured just include it. Now I used the flame red acrylic ink. This is again my first time working with acrylic ink, and man, I am really glad I picked this one because I think the colors at the end really brought the figure to life. I did very light shades over and over again until I got to this result. Now this is the final outlook. Now again, you don't really see that pre-shading there. If you look hard enough, you really can see it. I think I could have done better, but my first time, it's good enough. Something I learned recently as well was to use some Silly Putty for masking. I tried the Vallejo liquid mask, I tried masking tape, and I gotta say so far, this is my favorite masking method because it doesn't peel off paint that's already painted on, and it's so easy to shape into the areas that you don't want painted. So I used some Silly Putty to mask everything off, colored Hawks' hair yellow, and that was it for that. And you'll see as I start peeling that off, again, the face was already painted in a very light skin tone. There was no paint peeling whatsoever. Everything went on and came off just as easily. For the pole where Hawks will be standing on, I used a color called Mahogany from Vallejo Air, and I laid this on very thick in specific areas and very light in others because I wanted to kind of bring an effect of that some of the wood is darker, and you can kind of see it here in my hand as I'm filling in the fine details between where the boards would come together. You see some areas are darker, some are lighter, and I really love the way the telephone pole came out. Last pieces for me to work on were the blade effects from Hawk's feathers swinging, and what I ended up doing was sanding down from 180 to 2000 the clear resin after it prints to get this effect that you see here. So yes, it does take some time. Is it worth it? Absolutely, because afterwards I was able to use a Tamiya clear red and I layered it on over and over and over again to build those reds up and ended up with the final outcome. So you can see that light still passes through and it gives it a really nice colored effect without losing that translucency. And this was the final step. There were some clear feathers that were on Hawks' blade effect, but also in the model in general. And I primed those white with Vallejo Prime, and I repainted them with red. And as I was repainting them, I realized maybe I can add a little bit more depth to these by adding some darker paint to make it look like there are actually feathers there, or the space between the feathers, and that's what you're seeing here. I like how this came out. I think I could do better. This is my first time doing this and showcasing this, so again, any suggestions or comments included in the comments, but this is how you see it built up, and I love the way that feather came out. And I also did it for the ones that he's holding in his hands as well. And again, I'm just really happy with the final results of that clear resin and the way those feathers are layered on there. Did the same post-processing technique for the goggles, and that was it. Call it done. Again, super excited with how this came out. My favorite print project to date and the best paint job I've done as well. So leave your comments and suggestions in the comments below. How can I improve? What can I do better? What more do you want to see? Or is there a specific figure you want to see? Either way, thanks for watching and have a great day.